All right. This is my third time trying this video. Let's see if this works. The universe is out to get me. It's a conspiracy. Of course, it always has been. Right. So what are we here to talk about? Let's see. I did a video. uh, In this video, I'm going to summarize some of my thoughts. And really, this video is summarizing why I've been doing these videos at all, in a way. So yesterday, I did a rant about Al Gore. I've never met the guy, but we all know he was pivotal in getting America to try to wake up to an inconvenient truth, which was the name of his movie and his book. Good for him. One of the few, maybe even the only politician, certainly in the US, maybe even in the galaxy, who ever made any concerted effort to get people, least of all Americans, but people in general, to look at this problem and take it seriously as a scientific problem, not a political problem, not an economic problem, not a cultural problem, not a religious problem, but a scientific problem, because that's what it is. It's physics, okay? Physics. And so good for him. But yesterday I ranted about Al Gore, that in 30 years he hasn't changed his message, and we really need to change our message. And that's been my rant here, really writ large, for about, I don't know, 2-3 years that I've been doing this. Again, this morning, it's my Sunday morning, I'm getting ready to go to the farmer's market, blah, blah. And I was listening to a couple of videos that came across my YouTube feeds, and it just reinforced what I was saying yesterday. And I understand that there's a danger for influencers like Al Gore and a lot of others to take a stand and to put the blame where it belongs. But we must do that now. People are getting lost in nerding out about global heating and global warming and climate change and whatever you want to call it. They're nerding out. And as I was trying to tell my wife this morning, it's a kind of a cope. It's a coping mechanism that early on in the sinking of the Titanic, it might make sense to kind of nerd out on the sinking of the Titanic, right? We hit an iceberg. What kind of iceberg? How big was it? How fast were we going when we hit it? Did it break the hull? How big of a break? How long is the break? Is water coming in? Oh no. How much water? What kind of water? Is it cold water? What's the temperature of the water? This is nerding out, right? This is coping. You're coping. You're trying to wrap your head around this terrible thing that just happened. Now, you could, at some point in your coping, just jump to the next part of the drama, which is, do we have to abandon ship? And then you start to nerd out on how do you do that? Do we have lifeboats? Are ships like this, do they even have lifeboats? Oh, we do. How many do we have? Where are they? How do I get to them? You can start getting into the lifeboat thing. And then when you find a lifeboat, you're right there standing at the lifeboat. And then it's like, how do I get in? How do I lower it? It goes in the ocean. Is there food? Is there water? Is there blankets? Right? You can ask questions. But I want to make a point here. You're questioning about the sinking of the Titanic. You're questioning, even though you're always asking questions, the nature of your questions changes because you're dealing with it. You're dealing with the disaster. And when you're grappling with it, you're accepting it, and you're going through the changes that you have to go through as a questioner, then you start to grapple with it. And you go from, did we hit an iceberg, to, is this a problem, to, where are the lifeboats, to, how do I get on a lifeboat? I mean, your questioning should evolve. And we've been doing this global heating and climate change thing for 30 years now. If we use Al Gore as our sort of our benchmark, for when this really became a deal. We've been doing this for 30 years. His message, as far as I can tell, hasn't changed one syllable in 30 years. We are not moving on, people. Now you might say, oh, Al Gore, he's old. He's got his shtick, and he goes out there and he does his talks, and he gets paid his $1,500, and he preaching to the choir or whatever he's doing. It's like, okay, fine, but we are in a global crisis. This ship is sinking, and we do owe it to ourselves, and people like Al Gore owe it to their audience to move on. Not move on like, oh, it's no longer a problem. We have to move on in our questioning and our approach to the problem. Yes, it's a problem. Is the problem going away? No. Oh, it's getting worse? Oh, well, then if it's getting worse, then this is not good. Now what do we do? And I was listening to Paul Beckwith. He was on somebody else's podcast. I think it was a climate emergency forum, and he was talking about the polar vortex and the jet streams and the sudden stratospheric warming and the this and that and the troughs and it's all true. It's all science. And I went after 3 minutes of that. I can barely handle 3 minutes of that kind of thing. I go into, because I've heard it so many times. It never changes. It just gets worse if it changes at all. But it never, and the questioning never changes. So I go into the comments and I say, so what now? And that's really the approach, people. That's what we have to do. When Al Gore is giving his rant and he's railing against the evil oil companies and railing against the excessive profits from climate change and railing against money and politics. Excuse me, Mr. Gore, I have a question. Thank you for the presentation. That was great. It's great to hear you. You're looking great. You're strong and you're representing. And I got a question. Excuse me. I got a question. What now, Mr. Gore? What do we do now? Yeah, all that's true. Now what? And that question never gets asked. I have never seen that question asked of anyone in any forum ever, not once. There is a tacit understanding that when you invite these influencers onto your platform, the one thing you don't do, you never do this, you never embarrass them by asking them, that's all nice, very good. Now what? What do we do now? Is this excessive politeness? What is this? Is this you don't want to cause a fight? You don't want to embarrass them? Are we being excessively polite? The ship is going down, motherfuckers. We have to get off of this fucking ship. I don't care how much water is coming in the goddamn crack in the hull. I don't care how big the iceberg was. Fuck that. We got to get off of this fucking boat fucking now. You got it? We got to get off this boat now. We got to stop this. We got to get away. We got to get on a lifeboat. We got to get way out there somewhere in the fucking icy Atlantic, away from this ship before it goes down. That's what now. What now? We're getting off. Now. Would Al Gore like to comment on that? Mr. Gore, you've been dealing with this for a long time. Got a question. What now? Looking for advice here. Looking for advice along the lines of get to a lifeboat. Let's evolve our narrative away from blaming the fossil fuel companies and just accepting that we fucked up. I'm not going to blame the captain. I'm not going to blame the crew. I'm not going to blame the manufacturer of the ship. I'm not going to blame the workers at the dockyard that made the ship. I'm not going to blame anybody or anything. The ship is sinking, Mr. Gore. What now? And he could really help us there. He's got a big platform. I don't have a platform. No one listens to me. No one cares what I say. And I don't even say it correctly. No one cares. I'm asking the question, what now? So, yeah, science. Lost in the math, I think. What now? And that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to get people to get their heads out of their ass. Yes, it's real. Yes, it's science. We can talk about the science. You can get a grant. You can study the science. You can go to the Arctic. You can go to the Antarctic. You can study ice. You can study melting ice. You can study snowfall. You can study rainfall. You can study hurricanes and tornadoes. And you can look at all the polar vortices, and you can look at the AMOC, and you can look at the ENSO, and you can look at the La Nina and the El Nino, and you can look at the hurricanes, and you can math, and you can study, and you can research, and you can grant, and you can get PhDs, and you can travel, and you can go to the COPs, and you can go to the IPCC, and you can write a report. You can write a summary of the report, and you can get your report published, and you can get a position at a university, and you can get graduate students, and you can get more grants, and you can publish another thing, and you can say the thing, and you can publish the thing, and write the numbers, and make the chart, and Paul Beckwith will invite you on his podcast, and then you do another grant, and you do another study, and you do this, and you do that, and it's like, excuse me, could you just shut up for a minute and sit down? I want to talk to you. What now? You're the one with the PhD. You're the one with the grants. You're the one with the graduate students. You've got all these physicists, all these chemists, all these engineers running around saying, "Oh, there's a problem. Excuse me, I have to go to a conference now." Sit down. Sit these people down. Yeah, there's a problem. Thank you for pointing that out to us. Now sit down, and you're not getting out of here until you tell us what we're supposed to do about that. And the answer cannot be, oh, you have to innovate, because innovation is just an excuse to get another grant, more money, study the fuck out of this, get more graduate students, get more PhDs, another endowed charity university, more money, more politicians, more studies, more federal taxes, and we're just going to study this thing because we're innovating now. No, sorry. No, we're not innovating now, okay? Forget that part. What are we supposed to do? Well, I don't know. We have to innovate. We have to study the problem. No, just sit down, shut up, focus. What are we supposed to do about global heating? Is there any way that we can survive this? Is there anywhere we're supposed to go? Is there anything we're supposed to do? Is there any way that we're supposed to change our lives? Is there anyone we're supposed to be talking about, or changing our lives to survive this? Because this ship is going down, according to your data and your publications and your charts and your figures and your satellite data and everything else. It's not getting better. It's only getting worse. This is not going to fix itself, and we're not fixing it. So what do we do? What do we do? You sit right there, and I'm not letting you leave until you tell me what we're supposed to do. And if you can get an honest answer from any of these fools, it's going to be either I don't know, or we have to stop burning fossil fuels. They're either going to cop out, and they're going to, and just a second before their head explodes from internal contradictions, they're going to say, I don't know. Or they're going to get through that, and they're going to say, well, I could say I don't know, but actually, in all honesty, intellectually, I do know. And they could tell you, okay, fine. You want to know what you're supposed to do? You want to know how we're going to save ourselves from this? We must stop burning fossil fuels with immediate effect. Okay, that's it, folks. There's no. You don't need one more grant. You don't need any more studies. You don't need any more satellite data. You don't need anything. You don't need any of this stuff. It's nice. It had a place at one time, but we get it. We get it now. We screwed the pooch. Okay. That was bad. That was dumb. That was greedy. That was stupid. What we did it. All right. Now what? Now what? We did that. Now what? Stop burning fossil fuels. I am going to the farmer's market now. My wife just reminded me. On my electric bike, thank you very much. I have a 500 watt electric bike. It's a 48 volt, 500 watt electric bike. She has a 750 watt electric trike, three wheels with a basket on the front and the back. We are going to the farmer's market. It's like 8 miles away, but we laugh at how easy it is for us to get there on electric bikes. You need to get an electric bike while you still can, although probably by next week it may be too late, because they all come from China, and you know what that means. So you should get yourself an electric bike or an electric trike. I recommend the latter for people that just don't want to mess around with bikes. Get an electric trike and make sure it has a basket and make sure it has a decent range. I wouldn't recommend anything less than 48 volts. and 500 watts is absolutely the minimum. Maybe even 750 watt motor is even better. And you'll just be amazed. So that's what we're doing. We're going to the farmers market, local food producers, and we're going to take our electric bikes, and we're not going to have, and we're taking our own shopping bags, and everything it's just right there. You pick it up, you put it in your bag. Yeah, no containers at all. And we'll have a nice cup of coffee while we're down there. We'll meet some nice people and their kids and their service animals, and we're going to have a good time. And that's part of the answer. What now? Promote your local producers. Become a local producer. Get an electric bike. Get out of your car. Stop burning fossil fuels. And I know that you not burning fossil fuels makes no difference in the global scheme of things, except that when they finally turn off the fossil fuels, which they will do, Mr. Gore, even though you don't want to talk about that, and that's going to really harsh your mellow, they are going to do that, Al Gore. They are going to shut off the fossil fuels, right? Then you'll have your electric bike.
Right.
That's your assignment. Me to you. Get your head out of your ass. Stop worrying about the polar vortices for fuck's sake, and get yourself an electric bicycle. And if you can't figure that out, well, then they're not very innovative, are you? Figure that shit out. You can figure that out.
Bring your own cup.
And I'm bringing my own cup to the coffee shop. Can you believe that? I'm the only person who even does that. I bring my own cup to the coffee shop. There's not even a paper cup involved. Of course, the coffee still comes from Ecuador, and it still has a fossil fuel footprint and all that. I understand that, but God damn it, there's some things I'm not going to live without. And that's my Sunday morning cup of coffee at the farmer's market.
Right,
God damn it.
Love you.
Try to have a great day.